Hi farmers, this is day number 24 and today we'll be looking at feed wastage is the same as burning cash. Here's a thought. By day number 24, our broilers are eating quite a lot. You might realize already you spending or the consumption rate of the feed has increased, probably tripled by now because the birds are getting bigger. Now every scoop wasted on the floor is money that is paid for and is not converted into meat. Feed wastage doesn't look dangerous, but it quietly destroys our profits. And I'll be giving you 5 points as to why feed wastage is the same as burning cash. Number 1, big birds waste more feed. As birds grow, they scratch more, they spill more, they play with the feed. I don't know if you've realized, if you just spend some time in your coop, that the birds will be scratching. They'll be on the feeders, scratching for feed, throwing feed all over the floor, and just, being birds at the end of the day. You can't shout, you can't reprimand, because that's their innate nature, is to scratch and scuttle for food. So we shouldn't be angry at this. If the feeders are too full or too low, the feed ends up on the floor and not in the bird's stomach. And this is a problem because this is now not converting into growth, but basically resulting into waste. But number 2, overfilling feeders is a common mistake we make. Many farmers, myself included, overfill because we think, well, the broiler shouldn't run out of food, or I'm too busy to refill. And what happens is, if there's too much feed, this is basically going to encourage spillage, it's going to increase your wastage, and it doesn't even improve the growth of your birds. So be wary of those excuses that we make when we say, no, I don't want the feed to run out. It's better if the feed runs out, knowing that the birds have consumed the feed, as opposed to having the feed run out but it's laying all over the floor. And if you are too busy, normally feeders have you can set it to distribute feed a lot more slower, so that the feed doesn't spoil or run out. Point number 3, feed on the floor attracts problems. Think about it. Spilled feed gets wet, grows mold, and attracts pests. Birds pack it later and ingest it, and which results in bacteria and illnesses. That leads to digestive problems and poor feed conversion because of feed that lays on the ground. So avoid such mistakes, avoid any feed spillage. Number 4, small waste adds up fast. Even a small handful of waste to feed daily adds up to over 42 days, equals a bag of feed gone where? On the floor. Feed is your biggest cost, so small leaks can sink that ship very fast. Point number 5, smart feeding improves profits without changing the feed. You don't need better feed, you need better feeding habits. Good management beats expensive products all the time. And this is how this hurts our pockets as farmers. Feed wastage leads to higher cost per bird. Why? Because the birds aren't consuming the feed. Feed is laying all over the floor. Number 2, there's lower profit margins because the birds aren't growing. The feed is not being converted to growth, and there's no visible benefit. The feed basically goes back into your mash, your layer mash, not your layer mash rather, but your wood shavings on the floor, and it gets discarded and thrown out. So what a waste of money and what a waste of time. So what do we do, farmers, on day number 24? We fill our feeders only about a quarter to a half full. We raise our feeders so that birds to align with the bird's back height. We increase feeding frequency, not quantity. So we can go to a coop more than once a day, just trying to make sure that we feed the birds an adequate amount of food. We remove any spilled feed daily so that the birds don't eat any feed that has bacteria, pests, and all of that. And we watch our birds while they eat. Pay attention to how they eat. Sometimes you'll realize oh, these birds are a bit too chaotic when they eat, maybe you need more feeders, you distribute the feeders more evenly. Or you realize the birds are clumping all in one area, or that some birds are scurrying or for food that's on the floor, on the ground. And that is where you can pay attention and realign your management strategy. In a nutshell, feed on the floor never becomes meat. And I've created a Broiler Gems. It's a booklet you can download for a small investment that will result in you growing and increasing your profits with each and every cycle. So I would advise you to check out the link in the description and be on your way to start your broiler profits. Thanks for watching. See you on day number 25.